In these videos, we are going to learn about the positive and negative angles which we use in trigonometric functions. So, what do you mean by positive angles and negative angles? To understand this, let me draw a few lines that we call it as coordinate axis. The horizontal line is called x coordinates and the vertical line is called y coordinates. And this point of intersections of these two coordinates is we call origin. We assume that every distance actually start from here, so sometimes we write it as 0, 0, where 0 represent the length in this direction, which is positive x, and the second 0 represent the length of this directions, which is positive y. This is plus y, and any distance measures from this origin in the opposite directions, that means in this directions, is referred as minus y, and the distance measured in these directions, the opposite directions of positive x, is referred as the minus x. This point is against the origin of the angles. So what is angles? Angle is actually the change in directions. If I'm here looking in these directions, the angles is referred as 0 degrees, but if I change the directions, this angles is measured from the positive x in the anti-clockwise directions, and this will be referred as positive angles, or we call it as plus theta. So an angle measured by anti-clockwise directions is a positive angles. I can turn towards my right hand side also, which will be called crosswise movement, and any angles measured crosswise is actually called the negative angles. So if I am standing at the origins and looking at the plus x-axis, and if I am turning towards my right, that means I am turning crosswise in these directions, so I will call the angles as negative angles or minus theta. So the angles measured by crosswise directions is a negative angles. The result of trigonometric ratios for negative angles are given below. Sine of negative theta equivalent to negative sine theta. Cosine of negative theta equivalent to cosine theta. Tangent of negative theta equivalent to negative tangent theta. Let us see how the trigonometric ratios of negative angles are determined. To know that, first we must have to understand ASTC formulas. A stands for all trigo functions are positive in first quadrant. S means sine is positive in second quadrant. T tangent is positive in third quadrant. C cosine is positive in fourth quadrant. The ASTC formulas can be remembered easily using the phrase a smart trigo class. The key concept of negative angles is whenever we have negative angles in trigonometric ratios, we have to assume that it falls in the fourth quadrant here. It means that in the fourth quadrant, cos is positive. So therefore, we only have the positive value for the cosine of negative theta equivalent to cosine theta. Let's go through some examples here. So we are going to evaluate the trigonometric functions tangents of negative 210 degree without using calculators. So since the negative 210 is a negative angle which measures clockwise directions, so we notice that it will fall in the second quadrant with the reference angles of 30 degrees. So the tangent is negative in second quadrant. Therefore, the tangent of minus 210 degree is equivalent to negative tangent 30 degrees. We may use the value of special angles. So you have the negative 1 over sec 3. We may do the process of rationalizing with sec 3 over sec 3. So therefore, we are going to have the negative sec 3 over 3. We may use the alternative methods. By applying the negative angles properties tangents of minus theta equivalent to negative tangent theta to solve this problem. So, for tangent negative 210 degree, it will be equivalent to negative tangent 210 degree. So, we just look at tangent 210 degree. So you will fall in the third quadrant with the reference angle of 30 degrees. So therefore, we are going to have the negative tangent 30 degrees. And we apply the special angles. We have the negative 1 over sec 3. So again, we may do the process of rationalizing. We multiply with sec 3 over sec 3. So we will have equivalent to negative sec 3 over 3.